But before anything else, allow me to give thanks to God, who watches over Burkina Faso with his benevolent hand and allows us to remain standing. I therefore pay heartfelt tribute to all the fighting forces who battled day and night, even to the ultimate sacrifice, so that our homeland remains united. I wish a speedy recovery to all those who have been injured in this barbarity, and I pray to God for the repose of the souls of all those who have fallen in this battle. I would also like to pay tribute to the valiant people of Burkina Faso, both at home and abroad, who continue to contribute massively so that we can wage this war and also begin our true development. 2024 has been a year full of challenges. On the battlefield, the enemy tried to regain the strategic initiative to prevent us from reaching our objectives. But thanks to our brave and resilient fighting forces, we have been able to stay the course and always keep the initiative. Today more than ever, we are carrying out offensives, and we go wherever we wish to take action, tracking these criminals down to their last hideout. This has been possible thanks to a momentum that began in 2023 and still continues. In particular, this involves equipping our fighting forces with logistical resources, maneuvering capabilities, and firepower. And we will continue to increase these resources throughout 2025 so that the army we have dreamed of can become a reality and protect our homeland for years, even decades to come. We will continue recruitment as we did in 2024. For this year alone, we have recruited more than 15,000 men into the National Armed Forces who are still in training centers, and will therefore strengthen the ranks of the fighting forces during 2025. We will also continue intensive training in collaboration with all of Burkina Faso's friends so that we can have the army we desire. On the aspect of territorial control, several units have been established, including an army unit known as the Special Rapid Intervention Brigade, and we will continue to strengthen the capacity of all the armed forces to confront the current threat and those to come. In this regard, at least 5 rapid intervention battalions will be created during 2025 and will be stationed in the region. And also within the army, we will see the creation of a Sahel expeditionary group. All of this is aimed at strengthening the battlefield and reclaiming the entirety of our territory. At the level of the security forces, the readjustment will continue strategically, and we want these forces to be able to adapt intelligently and with great flexibility to the reconquest of the territory in order to fill the gaps and corridors that could be used by these criminals to infiltrate. We will therefore continue our efforts with the support of the people to upgrade all our fighting forces so that we can cover and reclaim the entirety of our territory. And to achieve this, road infrastructure is very important to support the reconquest of the territory. During the year 2024, several projects have been launched, particularly in terms of road construction, both in our cities and in our countryside. In this regard as well, the Faso-Maru initiative has been created, which should ultimately provide each region with a road construction brigade. Already the equipment for the first brigades is on its way, and in a few days they will be operational. We must begin to take action for the benefit of our fighting forces, to improve their mobility on the battlefield, and also to provide certain areas that until now have had no roads with good roads so that they can communicate. When we talk about roads, we are also talking about the transportation of our product. In this regard, we have intensified our agricultural production in the year 2024. The results are very satisfactory, and we give thanks to God, who has allowed us to have very good rainfall across the entire national territory. The production has been exceptional, and we will continue in this direction. Several cash crops have been introduced, such as cocoa, coffee, avocado, wheat, and many others, which should help to more or less stop imports in Burkina Faso, and also to process these raw materials and sell them abroad to bring foreign currency into our country. All of this contributes to the development of our homeland, which we are gradually beginning to achieve. On the livestock front, several projects were carried out during the year 2024, notably the renewal of livestock herds through various initiatives. But we are also in the process of setting up a system for feeding both livestock and fish. Several vaccination campaigns have taken place, free of charge in some areas and subsidized in others. We are continuing our efforts in support of the farming community through the provision of inputs and all the mechanization that must follow to support them, produce, and achieve our goal of food self-sufficiency. And why not export our surpluses? In this regard, many industries will emerge to enable us to process our raw materials locally. 2024 was a year in which we were able to inaugurate a few factories in this direction, but many more factories are set to be inaugurated in 2025. Some of these you witnessed the groundbreaking ceremony for, but there are also others whose groundbreaking was not publicly announced. And we will continue in this direction so that we can process our raw materials locally for the benefit of Burkina Faso and export what has been processed here. It is in this way that we will be able to keep our economy running internally and avoid importing food to the benefit of our people. A lot of effort has been made regarding the economy, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all those who have enabled Burkina Faso to always hold its head high in the face of adversity. We will continue our efforts in this direction, where many initiatives have been adjusted to take into account the aspirations of the youth. Recently, the National Agency for Inclusive Finance was created, and the goal is to be able to grant loans to young people and to monitor their activities. The Ministry of Youth has been instructed to create support structures that would provide ongoing assistance. So the projects that young people will initiate can be funded through these bodies we have established. During the first quarter of 2025, we will do everything possible to speed up the implementation of these support structures, because it's not just about giving a loan to a young person and then leaving them on their own. We want to provide the loan and monitor the implementation of the project for which the loan was taken so that it truly benefits them and so that it benefits other Burkinabe as well and creates jobs. We will continue our efforts in the areas of the economy and commerce so that our youth can fully thrive with the resources of their country. In the mining sector, we have regained control over our natural resources, metals such as gold, silver, copper, and many others. Must be exploited by Burkina Faso. We are gradually discovering national expertise that allows us to extract these resources locally for the benefit of the people. Burkina Faso. Thus, we are encouraging semi-mechanized operations, and very soon industrial mines must be established by Burkina Faso. But everything is being done to be able to leverage this local expertise for the benefit of our homeland. In the field of the environment, several projects will be launched. We hope to create a grove in every province, and the type of grove should include medicinal plants and herbs that can be used by our traditional healers, practitioners, and even by our researchers. The Institute for Health Sciences Research has made this extract from our local plants. Regarding this institute, I have given instructions to have a list made of all the equipment they need to increase their capacity and to harness our potential in terms of plants and herbs so we can substitute certain imported medicines. We will continue in this direction so that we can treat ourselves using our own plants. And so the Ministry of the Environment is doing everything possible to ensure that this project comes to fruition in 2025. Other large-scale projects for regreening and tree planting involving institutions and all designated structures will also be launched so that we can restore greenery to our environment, take care of it, and ensure that it fully benefits the people of Burkina Faso. This will therefore improve the healthcare system. We are making a lot of efforts to upgrade the technical facilities of various health centers and hospitals. Allocations were made in 2024, particularly in terms of medical equipment, and 2025 will also see a new round of medical equipment allocations, especially for health centers through the health initiative. Healthcare infrastructure will be built in several municipalities because we want to transform our social promotion health centers into municipal centers, which must therefore have well-equipped technical facilities and laboratories and imaging so they can approach the level of medical centers with surgical units. The goal is to bring primary healthcare closer to rural populations and to make a number of things easier in this field. Speaking of education, several reforms have been initiated. Perhaps they seem slow to some, but we must proceed slowly and surely because the educational system we are in is deeply focused on producing graduates rather than people who are capable of working and generating wealth. Unfortunately, that's the reality, but we are hard at work to first change the school infrastructure, adapt it, and modernize it. Secondly, the curriculum and the teaching program need to be changed. Little by little, we want to shift from general education to technical and vocational education. This transition is underway, and it will take some time for us to reach the standards we aspire to. All sectors will be addressed in the field of education, and that's why the initiative for quality education for all was created. Already, the foundation stones for the modern centers we envision have been laid, and the construction will continue throughout 2025. Comrades in the field of administration, as you have been payments, the latest investment trial in our administration shows just how out of step our administration is with current aspirations. Moreover, the procedures are outdated. That's why many measures are currently being taken to make this administration functional again, as we wish it to be. The CID was established for this purpose, and we are working to ensure that by January it will be operational, allowing citizens to report cases of misconduct and dysfunction within our administration. We will continue in this direction in order to make improvements, but also to promote the digitalization of the administration so we can effectively combat corruption. Because as long as procedures are not digitized, processing times for files will always persist and corruption will inevitably arise. The civil service has therefore been instructed to change its approach in order to integrate a certain number of jobs so that some people who were on contract within the administration can be effectively integrated and have a career plan. We will continue to implement many reforms in this area until our administration becomes the one the people desire. In the field of justice, many reforms have already taken place and will continue in 2025. The customary court should be established, and in this customary court, a new type of judicial auditors will be recruited to run it. This is to take into account our endogenous values for conflict resolution, to have a restorative justice and not just a purely punitive justice. In this sense, by taking into account our endogenous values and involving our traditional and religious leaders in upholding our values, we can transform our justice system and bring it closer to those seeking justice. These reforms will continue throughout the year 2025, and we hope to achieve our objective before the end of the year. In the area of territorial administration, as announced by the Prime Minister during his general policy speech, a redrawing of the territory is necessary, taking into account a number of aspects, some superficial, certainly, but above all, strategic and economic. This will be implemented in 2025. Decentralization, which is fundamentally a very good thing, is currently struggling in terms of implementation. A study has been commissioned at the level of the entire BF and Capes. The study, whose results are expected in the coming days, should allow us to make a thorough assessment of the decentralization process. In this regard, a number of funds have therefore been suspended pending these studies in order to be able to reorganize and assign new responsibilities to the authorities, that is, to the local governments. In the field of urbanization, during the year 2025, following the study conducted in 2024, options will be proposed to the Burkinabe population to allow us to redesign our cities. When these options are presented, we hope to reach an outcome that will allow us to redefine our cities and to carry out urbanization that meets current standards. This momentum will continue in 2025. A FASO 5.0 initiative will also contribute to this urbanization momentum. In the field of sports, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the young athletes because 2024 has been a year of sports. Several athletes have returned to Burkina Faso with medals and have raised the flag of Burkina Faso high. I congratulate them and encourage them to keep up this momentum so that in 2025 we win even more medals and the flag of Burkina Faso continues to fly all over the world. It helps to enhance the image of Burkina Faso abroad. In the field of diplomacy, there's already support from the sports sector, but diplomats have also been hard at work throughout 2023 and 2024, engaging in an assertive diplomacy. We will continue in this direction in 2025 so that the image of Burkina Faso, which shines throughout the world, can continue to grow. And through this, we are part of a confederation of the Alliance of Sahel States. Several significant actions are currently actively underway to structure and firmly establish this crucial alliance, because this is truly the beginning of a union, fundamentally based on sovereignty and complete freedom. It is envisioned that Africa can genuinely take this alliance as an exemplary model and truly shine. The alliance is not just for the three countries. It belongs to all Africans who desire sovereignty, independence, and complete freedom. We are continuing our efforts to make it a strong union in all the areas mentioned, whether it be diplomacy, defense, and security, and above all, development. Our diplomacy is flourishing, and we will continue our efforts to make it even stronger so that Burkina Faso's representations abroad can take into account our diaspora, as well as all friends of Burkina Faso who wish to visit or participate in the development of the country. In this way, we will be an example of sovereignty, an example of dignity, and a source of pride throughout Africa and the entire world. The Institute of Black People should serve as a springboard to attract Black people from all over the world to Burkina Faso, so they can reconnect with their roots, rediscover their culture, and learn from our cultures, modernize them to help develop our homeland. A building would therefore be erected at the museum to take into account a number of aspects of our culture, so that the Institute can base itself on these values and teach the whole world what the Black people are, what Africa is. I hope that 2025 will be a year of perfect health, success, prosperity, and victory for our people. Homeland or death, we shall overcome.